Coming up on Cronkite News, some Arizona lawmakers are pushing for gun reform this legislative session, but which bills have a chance of becoming law?
Plus, Arizona gets an F when it comes to tobacco prevention programs. We break down the latest report card from the American Lung Association.
And later, the grass is green at State Farm Stadium, rolled out and ready for Super Bowl 57. We'll show you the work that goes into making the turf perfect for game time.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Alyssa Munoz.
And I'm Dylan Nichols. Thank you for joining us. Gun control is once again making headlines nationwide, and many Arizona lawmakers are pushing for reform during this legislative session. Cronkite News reporter John Brown reports if any of these bills have a realistic chance at becoming law.
Representative Jennifer Longden is no stranger to the gun violence plaguing the country. A survivor of gun violence herself, Longden was paralyzed after a drive-by shooting in 2004. Now, Longden is actively working to get gun safety bills passed through the Arizona legislature.
More and more folks are recognizing that when we send our loved ones off, they're participating in a human lottery because the incidents of gun violence are growing in our country.
Longden has sponsored at least 10 gun safety bills at the state capitol, including one that raises the age of an individual who can legally possess or carry a firearm, and another to secure firearms when there is an order of protection.
I always have hope that we'll move our bills through. Again, these are data-driven solutions to a public health issue.
While Longden refers to gun violence as a public health crisis, others say these gun safety bills are about power for legislators that don't add any change.
It's a very straightforward issue. What they're attempting to do, John, is they're attempting to use the blood of the victims to achieve a political result. It's despicable.
Heller does not favor any of the bills Longden sponsored.
If you want to know about gun safety, you should take a gun safety class, or you should teach one if you're competent in it.
Brooke Sannon, a student and activist for gun control, says some Second Amendment advocates don't understand the meaning of the legislation.
It's not about taking away your guns, it's about making sure that people have safe access to guns.
In Phoenix, John Brown, Cronkite News.
In the Republican-controlled state legislature, at least 10 of Longden's bills regarding gun safety have made it to committees, which means they are moving forward.
It could be man versus machine if a new voting bill makes its way through Arizona's legislature. State Senator John Kavanaugh introduced a bill that would test how much time and manpower it would take to hand count a full election. The bill would limit testing to counties with no more than 2 million voters. This means the test would only occur in Maricopa County. Maricopa County Recorder Stephen Richer supports the idea. Richer said in a statement, quote, "This legislation will build confidence in our election system by showing that the machine tabulation is highly accurate, free of bias, and fast." If the bill makes its way through the House and Senate, testing would be in September of this year.
Former candidate for Arizona Governor Kari Lake is under fire today for a tweet during the midterm elections that potentially broke state law. Lake, a Republican, tweeted out what appeared to be real signatures of 16 voters. Lake has since deleted the tweet. Now, Arizona Secretary of State Adrian Fontes has asked the Attorney General's office to investigate her actions. State law makes it illegal to share records containing a voter's signature. Violating this law is a Class 6 felony with the potential for jail time. Lake's lawyers told TV station KPNX that she has a First Amendment right to post the photos.
Arizona is failing when it comes to preventing and reducing tobacco use. That's according to the annual report card by the American Lung Association. The report shows Arizona got an F for funding and prevention programs and an F for its level of tobacco taxes. The state also getting a C for things like access and advertising for treatment programs to help people quit.
Tobacco remains the leading cause of preventable death and disease in America. And so we developed the report to give a grading system to current tobacco policies in each state to show that there is room to do better and to continue to protect Americans.
Among the association's recommendations for improvement, Arizona needs to provide more funding to advertise and provide treatment for people who need help quitting. We are just 11 days away from Super Bowl 57 right here in the Valley, and every day Cronkite News will be bringing you content ahead of the big game.
The teams are set, and now all eyes are on Arizona, and that includes the watchful eyes of law enforcement.
This year's event brings with its concerns over human trafficking. Cronkite News reporter Valeria Rodriguez explains what a Hispanic organization is doing to prevent more victims.
In Arizona, 163 out of 198 trafficking cases reported in 2021 were related to sex trafficking, according to the National Human Trafficking Hotline.
But what kills me more is when I see the children, I look in their eyes, what they may have witnessed, what their mom went through.
Chicanos por la Causa, a local organization, is partnering up with law enforcement officials to help victims of sex trafficking.
We're identifying young ladies who maybe need help and rescuing them. And we'll also have another group that comes in and does the tattoo removal, because unfortunately, that's like branding these women.
The average age of entry into sex trafficking is 13 in Arizona, compared to 17 to the national average. Chicanos por la Causa is looking to tackle sex trafficking by using the Super Bowl as an opportunity to educate others about the signs.
If they see someone who it looks like they're being controlled, if it looks like they're being prevented from, they're being very held close to someone or not being allowed to talk to others.
The group focuses on Spanish-speaking undocumented women because females from other countries are most at risk, according to the National Human Trafficking Hotline. In Phoenix, Valeria Rodriguez, Cronkite News.
If you have information about human trafficking, you can call the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888.
Super Bowl safety preps are also underway in downtown. Fences and barricades were put up along roads around the Phoenix Convention Center, the site of the Super Bowl experience. Monroe is closed between 2nd and 5th so crews can set up things. Parking is of course going to be limited, and security is getting set up as fans start making their way to the Valley. The Super Bowl experience is a 5-day event that gives fans a chance to participate in games, exhibits, and opportunities for autograph signings.
It's the Eagles versus the Chiefs for Super Bowl 57 at State Farm Stadium. Cade Cameron tells us with 11 days to go until the big game that the Chiefs fans are already making an impact.
Fans from Philadelphia and Kansas City are surely making their travel plans to head to the Valley. But it's the Chiefs fans who are already bringing the numbers. The Chiefs already have a large fan base here in the Valley as the team's faithful piled into Pub Rock Live in Scottsdale to watch the team win the AFC Championship and punch their ticket to the Super Bowl. The bar expects to be plenty busy in the next week and on Super Bowl Sunday as the prime location for Chiefs fans to root on their team. Coming up later in sports, how the State Farm Stadium grounds crew is prepping the field for the big game.
Thanks, Cade. Coming up on Cronkite News, imagine building an electric car from scratch in high school.
That's a reality for some local Valley students. We'll show you the program letting students get real hands-on experience in the future of transportation.
Plus, a new plan to cut water consumption across our region, but hear why California is not on board.
It's prime time on your time. Watch Prime Afternoons every weekday on Arizona PBS. Did you miss a show in the evening? Then catch up on Prime Afternoons, your favorite dramas.
No more bloody heroics.
Antiques Roadshow.
Really?
Nature and Nova.
It's time to reintroduce some wonder into this miracle of nature.
All of the best from PBS on Prime Afternoons. Weekdays starting at 1:30, only on Arizona PBS. When you support Arizona PBS, you plant a seed. Seeds that provide educational outreach in our community. Seeds that put our digital resources to work. Seeds that foster the trusted news coverage you expect from PBS. And seeds that continue the amazing PBS programs you love. But our garden can't keep growing without your support. Visit our website to see all the ways you can help our garden grow. Plant a seed with Arizona PBS today.
Electric vehicles are the future, and Cactus High School in Glendale is one of the first high schools in Arizona to fully implement an EV curriculum into their automotive program. Cronkite News reporter Atria Maneshi has more about this unique program and what the students have accomplished.
A typical day for these high school students begins in the auto lab.
Where we don't know where the wiring harness is.
Some students get to work on gas cars. Others are learning how to put together an electric vehicle from scratch.
Right now, we've got all of the suspension done. We've got the motor in. We're working now on the battery compartment side of it.
The vehicle the students are working on comes from the company's Switch vehicles.
That's for the charging unit right here.
Their Switch Lab program provides schools with a build-it-yourself EV kit that students work on for the semester.
Students get to work together, hands-on, building electric vehicles just like this one.
Students say the building process of an EV is challenging.
It's bent so it doesn't move. A success was getting the steering finally put together and working, because that took me forever. I probably put 48 hours into the steering because I couldn't get it fixed.
Aiden Bratton is one of the students who gets to work on this car designed specifically for the classroom.
There's obviously no doors, but you just climb in through the window basically. There's going to be a front windshield. There's going to be a hood. It's going to be powered by 2 really big batteries.
The car is a 3-wheeler and fits 2 people, and while it may look simple, there's more to it.
There's a lot more to the electric vehicle, like a lot more electrical things that you need for the electrical vehicle to start. And then for the gas, I think all you need is like the engine, the water pump, and all that normal stuff.
To keep all these parts organized, Ramirez relies on interns like Brianna Ferguson.
A lot of wires, there's a lot of small parts, and it's hard to figure out what's what exactly when you're putting everything together.
They've been involved in the automotive program since freshman year and hope to go into the auto industry someday.
I definitely want to work on this stuff in the future because it seems as though it's going to be a lot bigger as time goes on.
That's all Ramirez wants for his students, to see them succeed.
If you look around my classroom, I have names of kids that have finished off and where they went to a trade school, they went to the military. I have a girl that's nuclear engineer, 4-year auto student in the Navy. So I want them to do something, and then I've done my job.
In Glendale, Atria Maneshny, Cronkite News.
Not only do students get certified in electric vehicles, this program also helps them get certified in standard gas vehicles as well.
There's a new proposal to help ease drought conditions in our region, and 6 states, including Arizona, have signed off on the proposal. California held out of the agreement and released its own plan overnight, saying that the proposal was unfair for them. The new model would cut about 2 million acre-feet of water from the lower basin states, and smaller cuts will be made in the upper basin states. For California, the state says the majority of water reductions would fall on them. No changes are expected anytime soon, and negotiations are still ongoing. Clear skies and warmer temperatures today after what's been a chilly start to the week.
Haley Forbes is in the Cronkite News Weather Center with more on how things are shaping up for tonight.
Thank you, Alyssa. And yes, we have some beautiful weather this evening. It's going to be 63 degrees by 6 p.m. Then we're going to steadily decrease to 53 degrees by 10 o'clock at night. So relatively moderate for this time of year. Now let's take a look at our lows. We're going to be at 44 degrees here in the valley, 47 in Bullhead City, and 41 degrees in Quartzsite. Now in the high country, it's going to be pretty chilly still. It's going to be 13 degrees in Flagstaff, 36 in Sedona, and 11 degrees at the Grand Canyon. Pretty chilly. Let's take a look at our highs for tomorrow. So we're going to be 69 degrees here in the valley, so really nice weather. We're going to be at 66 in Bullhead City, and wow, 70 degrees in Yuma. Absolutely beautiful weather. Now in the high country, we'll have pretty nice weather as well. We'll be 43 in Flagstaff, 46 in Page, and 55 in Sedona. Now let's see what's coming our way. There's lots of clouds off the west coast that are going to be coming our way. We're going to have some cloud coverage by 12 p.m. on Friday, and then they're going to clear out Friday night, and then we're going to have some more cloud coverage again Saturday morning. Now let's take a look at our 8 8-day forecast. Tomorrow is Groundhog Day, so we're gonna find out if we have 6 more weeks of winter or not. It's gonna be sunny and 69. Then Friday, we're gonna hop up to 75 degrees and cloudy. Then Saturday and Sunday are both gonna be beautiful weather, 76 degrees and mostly sunny. So if you're gonna go out and do anything fun with your family, enjoy this beautiful weather. And then Thursday, we're gonna be sunny and 72 degrees. So nice weather coming our way. For the Cronkite News Weather Center, I'm Haley Forbes.
I'm Cade Cameron. Coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report. After a season of injuries, the Phoenix Suns are pushing through and looking ahead to a better rest of the season.
Okay, let's go right up in here and start having some fun.
Such a thrill to be able to do this.
Recreation is the gateway drug to conservation.
How do you create that perfect straight edge? You can do anything. History is today. Chasing the American dream.
Experience something personal.
A place of imagination.
I can go anywhere I want to go.
You guys are just gonna love it.
An entertainment experience unlike anything.
There's something for everyone with Passport on the PBS Video app.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
Evil can find its roots so easily in an English village.
The landscape of criminal investigation.
Murder, almost certainly.
Modern policing methods.
We endeavor to do our best.
We're working hard to solve this case.
And to make sure justice gets done.
It's a new adventure.
And the rest, as they say, is mystery.
I can hardly wait.
Art was one of the powers that made life life. I think we all believed that.
This is a real life story of a real live person.
This was my only connection to my culture.
Fight the power.
Our stories deserve to be heard.
You're passionate and you respect your heritage. That is a perfect recipe.
Now is the time for the Reformation. Now is the time to rebuild the nation.
That's amazing.
You're making me cry.
Some girls can go out there and just steal a spotlight.
This is the moment that we've all been waiting for.
Everyone has something to contribute to humanity. The arts are the thing that does that.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Welcome to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Cade Cameron. With the Super Bowl 57 less than 2 weeks away, the groundskeeping and field maintenance crew has been hard at work in preparation for the big game. Cronkite sports reporter Noelle Blumel went to Glendale for a first-hand look at how the grass is coming along at State Farm Stadium.
The groundskeeping and field maintenance crew has been hard at work in preparation for Super Bowl 57. From going to the field on a local sod farm to daily checks with concussion protocols, they are confident the field will be ready to go in just 12 days.
That's part of what our job is, to make sure that this is a perfect surface, and that includes, following the concussion protocols. And we'll test this field every day once we start in with rehearsals. And we'll look at the conditions of this field, we'll look at the hardness of this field, we'll test it every single day with a Clegg meter and look at the hardness. And if there needs to be any adjustments, we'll do that. If we need to back off on anything, any kind of traffic or whatnot, we'll do that also, so that it's perfect come game day.
The growth pattern for this field began over a year ago and has yet to be played on. And while preparation standards remain the same throughout the year, there is a slightly higher standard for February 12th.
There's a lot of eyes on it. There's a lot of expectations that it's going to play perfectly. So we do give it the extra care. We've got a larger staff than most of the stadiums typically have. So we're fortunate in having a lot of hands, a lot of eyes on it, and being able to give it everything we need.
There's nothing like the moment when that ball is kicked off, because all the work that has gone into that point. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, right? So yes, it's bigger when it comes to Super Bowl, but at the end of the day, this is the biggest moment in the lives of these two teams and their fans.
Until then, they plan to maintain the field to make sure it's in the safest shape for the big game. In Glendale, Noelle Blumel, Cronkite News.
February 1st is always a big day for Tom Brady. On this day in 2004, Brady helped the Patriots win Super Bowl 38. 11 years later, Brady would win Super Bowl 49 here in Arizona. On February 1st, 2022, Brady would announce his first retirement from the NFL. And now, today, Tom Brady, the man, the myth, the legend, has officially retired.
Good morning, guys. I'll get to the point right away. I'm retiring. For good.
Let's now go from the NFL to the college game and National Signing Day. The biggest news so far for ASU is the commitment of four-star quarterback Jaden Rashada from Pittsburgh, California, who posted on his social media that he's glad to be home. Jaden's dad, Harlan Rashada, played for ASU back in the 1990s. Others who signed with the Sun Devils include offensive lineman Sean Na'a and linebacker Kavion Thunderbird. The Sun Devils are ranked 36th overall with their current recruiting class by 24/7 Sports. The Suns host the Atlanta Hawks tonight at Footprint Center. Devin Booker is inching ever closer to returning to action. Cronkite Sports reporter Sammy Miller looks at how the Suns have found success despite all of the injuries.
The Phoenix Suns have had a tough road thus far. They are currently ranked 7th in the West at 27-25, winning 6 of their last 7 games. They have managed a winning record despite a string of injuries to key players. But as more of the starters return to the lineup, things will only get better for this squad.
We've obviously been banged up, had a lot of injuries, and we're getting healthy at the right time and starting to get guys back slowly but surely. We're not there yet all the way, but we're getting close.
For long stretches, the Suns are without key pieces, leading to players like Damian Lee, Bismack Biyombo, Torrey Craig, and Dwayne Washington Jr. to step up.
We've been missing those guys, and we still got some guys who are working their way back, and when we're a full roster, a full team head to toe, we're really dangerous.
The Suns have only had 6 games this season with their full starting lineup on the floor of Chris Paul, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, Cam Johnson, and Mikal Bridges. Most of the injured starters have returned, but the Suns are still missing their go-to offensive weapon, Devin Booker. One player who knows the struggles of being on an injury-ridden team is Eddie Johnson. This former Suns guard is hopeful that the Suns can take the good and the bad from the past and use that to help accelerate them to make a run in the playoffs. Right now, the Western Conference is neck and neck with only a few wins separating the top teams, making these next few games for the Suns that much more important.
So now they've won the full gamut of how difficult it is to get to the promised land, and maybe let's hope they're going to do it in a way that most people don't think they can, by making a run here in the second half of the season and getting themselves an opportunity.
The Suns are hopeful Devin Booker can return soon, but with 30 regular season games remaining, the clock is ticking for the team to make a real push in the Western Conference standings. In Phoenix, Sammy Miller, Cronkite News.
That's it for the Cronkite Sports Report. Back to Dylan.
Thanks, Cade. More Cronkite news still ahead. If you bought a Powerball ticket in the Northeast Valley this week, you could be $100,000 richer. We have a look at the winning numbers.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
Evil can find its roots so easily in an English village.
The landscape of criminal investigation.
Murder, almost certainly.
Modern policing methods.
We endeavour to do our best.
We're working hard to solve this case.
And to make sure justice gets done.
It's a new adventure.
And the rest, as they say, is mystery. I can hardly wait.
What you get from Washington Week that you will not get anywhere else are the best and the brightest reporters from different media companies, and they're able to have a real conversation about things that are happening in Washington and around the country. But it's also a show about issues that are relevant to different communities.
How do you think that...
As the moderator, I feel this deep responsibility to bring in those other perspectives so that people understand how power and politics impact their daily lives.
Friday nights at 7 on Arizona PBS.
what I'm saying?
Try to steer the trouble.
Where's the fun in that? You know how ladies can be.
I'ma do what I do.
Stream the best of PBS on any device with the PBS Video app. All your favorite drama, history, science, news, and documentaries, all in one place. Watch your PBS station live or catch up on the shows you missed. Discover new favorites from PBS and locally produced shows from your station.
Sign in and start streaming today.
Double check those lottery tickets. 2 people in the Valley are $1,000 richer this week.
The 2 winning Powerball tickets were sold in the Northeast Valley, and no one has come forward to claim either one of them just yet. One ticket was sold at the Safeway at Cave Creek Road and Tatum Boulevard. The other was bought at the Circle K off of Carefree Highway and 48th Street in Phoenix. The current Powerball jackpot is the 8th largest in its history, with a grand prize of $653 million. The next jackpot drawing is tonight at 9 o'clock.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.